cool. And also beautiful. Perhaps that's what I was trying to tell you. Not to lose hope, and believe that what you are seeing playing out before you is not yet set in stone. You could originally think this thing through like this, but couldn't. Even if this is architect, you still wish to have it. Don't struggle to relax. I'll put you close to the end, I promise.
You do have a point. Quoi? Je pense pas que c'est la quête d'Arcon. Parce qu'il dit... genre, le trophée est fait à l'image de Furina quand elle était toujours au pouvoir. Même si maintenant les choses ont changé. Eh, attends, ça c'est des spoilers pour la quête, non?
Perhaps everyone still thinks of it as a pretty appropriate name. Even though she isn't the Hydro Archon any longer.
Quoi? Attends, attends.
Oh, but who?
Je pense qu'on est sur la mauvaise quête.
Yes, that's her. How to describe
Oh!
her remarkable design? Anyway,
Who are the actors from...
why don't the two of you, judging from the top?
Mais non! On était sur la mauvaise quête, mais ça nous a spoilé la quête. À l'aide. Oh putain. Non, je veux pas la quête. Mais pourquoi ça me... Hein? Ah putain, c'est... Oh les bâtards. Je me disais, c'était pas censé le lancer aussi proche. Mais quoi? Mais on s'est fait spoiler comme des merdes. J'étais sûre qu'il fallait prendre l'autre point de TP. Ils préviennent même pas. Oh. Bon, on va faire comme si on n'avait rien entendu. Ah.
Did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blind adventurer with their white fairy legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater fortress. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the traveler contain surprises in space. Journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker. Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us that we never even noticed her. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as the subject matter instead? Seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forgive her this time.
Oh. D'accord, bon. On s'est pas du tout fait spoiler, je vois pas de quoi vous parlez. Nous allons continuer. En espérant qu'il n'y ait pas d'autres interférences avec la quête. J'étais en mode quoi, Xavier, mais qu'est-ce qu'il fout là, le rapport avec la quête? On a commencé à parler de films. Ah, mais c'est toute une analogie, c'est pas... Aïe, aïe, aïe. Bon. C'était le seul truc que je m'étais pas fait spoiler. Genre, j'ai eu quelques spoils en regardant des vidéos. Donc, je sais qu'il y a des trucs assez intéressants. J'ai essayé de me... Genre, quand je voyais un début de spoil, je skippais direct. Donc, j'ai pas... tant été spoilé que ça, mais en même temps, j'ai été spoilé. Haha. Ouais. Tiens, ça c'est bizarre. Ouais, c'est Dean. Ouais.
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food. As for me, I love the cake and coffee here. Do you come here often? Usually every day. Every day? It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake and coffee.
Oh.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon, and you wouldn't get to eat cake here anymore? What would you think? But why would it close? Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe maybe the waters will rise tomorrow.
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No, still, even if there'd be no more cake tomorrow, that wouldn't keep me from having some today. No, it's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so today, then you should carry on. That's what people call living, you know.
Oh, Paimon est dans un mood. Ah, j'aime pas ça, c'est des mauvais présages.
These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call being sad.
Oh, you know Sijuin?
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes to the surface to teach us things about humans. She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily, yes, and you can only lift their spirits by feeding them delicious food. So please try the cakes here. I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now. You two try to stay in a good mood after eating, all right? Bye.
Oh.
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. I'm unsure this cake will be delicious.
Yeah, sure is.
It's more delicious than last time. And the flavor gets even better with the sip of tea. It sure would be nice if we could come again tomorrow. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food here.
Oh là là, oh, le mood qui est en train de s'installer, c'est pas bon du tout. Je vais peut-être baisser. Oh, j'ai un achievement. J'en ai 2 achievements. Naira, oh putain. Oh. Mais du coup, on a. What? Pourquoi c'est. D'accord. Fallait que j'aille dans les paramètres. Graphique, audio, je vais baisser un peu ça. Je vais monter le dialogue. Voilà. Ok. Oh, on doit juste quitter l'endroit. C'est un très mauvais truc. Enfin, quand on n'a pas de destination fixe, c'est là où se passe le plus de trucs, en général. Ils nous disent juste, allez à cet endroit, quittez cet endroit. Oh, à chaque fois je vais dire ça, je vais voir un truc et je vais dire, oh non, je la sens mal. Ok, pour l'instant on est toujours sur la bonne quête. Hop. Coucou. Il y a encore les trucs de la quête de Neuvillette. Oui. Pas de bonjour, pas de rien. On peut négocier. Ouais.
That you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appears you didn't receive it, though. It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Oh, you're the best!
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
When Mona mentioned you, we thought of coming to see you at work.
I see. It seems you've already bumped into Mona here in Fontaine. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, Can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with the legendary traveler in Paimon?
I mean...
So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and experienced.
Ah. Tu veux vraiment m'interviewer? Non mais... Ah bah bah...
Yeah, are we even qualified?
Est-ce qu'on est qualifié pour être interviewé? Alors, laisse-moi récapituler. À Mondstadt, nous sommes arrivés de nulle part et nous avons réglé tous leurs problèmes en battant le dragon et en le faire... Bon, on n'a pas... On n'a pas évité ce qui s'est passé avec Señora, mais ça, personne ne le sait. Alieu en fait, Alieu ouais, c'est vrai, on a sauvé la ville de Osayol. Quelque part.
In that case, we'll just chat when you have the time then?
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately.
Oh,
I'll apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and... Whew, so much to get done now. Talk to you later.
Inazuma, bref, vous avez capté.
Hyman's still got a question for you.
Hmm? And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
Ah, j'en ai marre qu'on pose cette question à tout le monde.
That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist, first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that easily. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal rather than worry over such an end. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always believed that it's best to do what you enjoy.
Je pense qu'elle se doute un peu de...
If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still
Aïe aïe aïe,
successfully finish an
on va demander ça un
exclusive
peu tout
interview
le
with a
monde,
truly
on va
unique
faire un
person,
truc, la journée elle va se finir, paf, demain, tu vas voir ce qui va se passer. Là c'est pas, c'est même pas du... Comment ça s'appelle? Bravo. Ah, j'ai oublié le mot. Putain, c'est pas possible.
That's so nice. All of a sudden, Paimon actually kinda envies her. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
C'est genre pas du tout un...
The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking.
Oui.
If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go and what would we do? No, Paimon should ask, if you could choose, what would you like to do? We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot.
Ouais.
You mean...
Ah ouais, je voulais dire qu'il y a beaucoup de foreshadowing, là, ça fait un peu trop, là.
Huh. Wait, isn't that what we've always been doing?
Je sens mal. Ah. Ah, la dernière ligne. All goes well. Non. Dans une quête d'Archon, all ne goes pas well.
Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay here long enough. But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure. It's not only damp there, but salty too.
Ah, so the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Oh, you're
Bref.
from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillat sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward you went to the Fortress of Meropide.
Bref. C'est bon, tout est en marche. Où est-ce qu'on en était?
Not at all. I'm well
C'est qui,
aware that
celle-là?
you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along a message from him. Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
Uh-huh.
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally think it was that serious. Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing her,
Oh.
loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy. And before she could respond, others started to join in.
Oh. C'est la partie qu'on a vue dans le trailer, ça.
And protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under due to the prophecy.
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment people feel threatened, gods are also the first to be blamed.
So what happened after that? Is Farina okay?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired of this and left in a hurry. The Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when things had stabilized did we realize that she had gone missing.
What?
So, you mean she's still missing?
On a un très gros problème, mais aussi on a un
Right.
motif
The
pour lui
Maréchaussée
faire
has dispatched
son...
many people to search for her. But we don't have any leads yet.
lui faire tomber dans notre piège.
That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary people do to her? Good. Monsieur Nervillat sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Oh. Je pense que c'est comme ça qu'on va le prendre aussi dans l'histoire. En tout cas, ce serait bien.
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Peut-être c'était aussi une idée de son plan.
Is that so?
Genre d'avoir juste quelqu'un de random qui dit...
In that
Genre
case,
pas quelqu'un
you
de
two
connu,
take
genre
care.
comme Navia
I'll be
ou
heading
des
back to
trucs
the
comme
Palais
ça.
now.
Ouais, je pense que c'est ça.
Sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out the heat. And as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone. When Nervalet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and remorse.
Ouais.
It would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve the sense of guilt that she's feeling. Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up too. Cool, huh?
Hey! Détective Paimon? Maintenant, Paimon n'est plus nos brains. Poisson! Nous allons faire un tour à Poisson! Oh. Nice. Bon, bah ça appelle pour faire un vœu, parce que normalement j'ai assez. Donc, ouais. L'arme, elle est particulière. Je sais pas, je la trouve pas très intéressante. Mais bien sûr, on fera l'événement après. On va manger du poisson. Du coup, il me manquera 30 primogèmes, c'est pas grave. Je vais déjà faire ça, parce que je sais plus pourquoi. Ok. Je pense que ça doit être quand j'ai level up Ayaka. Parce que du coup, je viens d'avoir Ayaka genre hier soir, mais vous inquiétez pas. Du coup, je vais récupérer ça. Comme ça, il me restera 5 primos. Ce sera une autre petite pause pour récapituler un peu ce qui s'est passé dans cette quête là. Et possiblement faire des vœux. Alors, il me semble que je suis en train de très fortement me rapprocher de la pitié sur l'arme. Parce que j'avais déjà fait des vœux sur... Merde, toujours pas ça. J'avais déjà fait des vœux sur quand il y avait Sino et le reste. Attends, je vais ramener ça là. J'ai checké l'historique. Ah, vous pourrez pas voir l'historique, mais je vais... Je vais vous dire à haute voix, désolé. Donc là, je suis juste en train de checker l'historique des vœux. Alors, je suis à 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35... Oh, attends. 40, 45, 50, 55... Attends, wait. 60... Ok, sûrement dans les prochains vœux j'aurai 65. Ok, on est à 67 de pitié. Non, 66 de pitié. Donc on est très proche du 5 étoiles. Ça veut dire que genre si je mets 2-3 vœux en plus, on va avoir le 5 étoiles. Alors je vais attendre de finir la quête d'Archon du coup pour avoir un vœu en plus. Mais ça c'est bien. Poisson. Téléportons-nous ou à Poisson. Ça va, en vrai, pour l'instant ça avance un peu plus vite que d'habitude. Et encore j'avance lentement. Oh, oui. Bon, toi t'es juste là, toi. Ah. Oh, je pense qu'elle est venue essayer d'investiguer peut-être. Je pourrais juste sauter de là. Chut, Paimon.
used. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, t'inquiète.
Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry, but what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over?
Oh, fuck. Arrête.
Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina, it's just us.
Ok, ouais.
You, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it.
Dear.
Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts. They even dared to tout their archon. I must teach them a lesson.
Allez, arrête de faire ce fake ass personality. Stop. Montre ta vraie face.
Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette.
Ah. Qu'est-ce que vous allez faire, hein? Je vous prends à un.
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they? That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Oh, Farina trial? C'est trop.
This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the...
What is this place?
What?
Hurry, they're almost here!
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
So, what? This disgusting place only in rust and crust. Hein? Une scène, téléportation, une something. Ok.
Paimon's exhausted.
Et là, il y aura quelqu'un.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me. No, I mean, I'm here to see your enthusiasm they displayed.
Yep, that's a good girl.
Oh shit.
What's happening? The ground's shaking. Is it an...
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's...
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nouvellette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson, they...
Oh.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Teyvat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
Yes, be like us, go against those bitches.
love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
But that... Ouais.
Indeed. I thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson.
Et oui. C'est vrai que si on perd le poisson, hein, y a plus, c'est pas la même chose.
The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives.
En effet.
But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end. Well, that's enough now.
C'est sweet.
To play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all.
Ah là là.
Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
Putain. Non mais...
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just...
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
Ouais.
A witness. Yes. I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And
Ouais,
if
donc tu peux tout me
Tevat
dire.
is in its entirety a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case...
Oh, let's go. Information. Oh. Allez. Allez, dis-le. Tu peux le faire. Oh merde. C'était sûr. Oh, waouh. Oh, c'est fort. Dans
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
Oh, ils sont forts.
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
Yes.
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
Oh, incroyable.
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
Huh.
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself. But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice! This time, I will protect you. Applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor, will now begin!
Congrats.
I feel like Farina just took over the whole thing. Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
Right.
Then, who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Excellent. Attends, par contre, je suis tombée de mon... Aïe, je suis tombée de mon siège. Excusez-moi. Voilà, c'est moi, Chocky Panda, je suis de retour sur les lieux.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness up to that. My accuser and fated opponent.
Oh. Okay.
Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins, just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more.
Ok, ça c'était sûr déjà. J'ai vu que ça c'était une partie du plan, mais j'y ai pas pensé à la suite.
Into a flame. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean... the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also...
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontainian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather...
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Areneas. Was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Surtout l'une des seules qui peut faire peur à Fulina.
As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
No, it was not. Ouais.
Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance.
Oui.
It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
Ok. Juste ça.
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte! Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine!
Ouais.
So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument! Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
Oui, ok.
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in. I didn't think that
Merde.
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I've been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence.
Oui. Oups. Je trouverai un endroit plus stable pour mettre mon micro. Ah là là. Je m'excuse pour ce bruit.
This is the first time Monsieur Nervilette had a difference of opinion with the oratories. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out.
Ouais, ça va être utile, ça j'en suis sûre.
But the Tony Harbinger, she's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something.
Bon bah ça a bien servi notre interview. Attends.
According to Monsieur Nervilette, both child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time. I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers.
Ouais.
The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
Ok. très intéressant.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Ok, monsieur Nouvellette.
Come on, Nervylette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant legalese. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt in all of this.
Ja.
Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a god. However, you will need more than that to convict me of a crime.
Ok. Je me demande la raison qu'il a trouvé Nouvellette. Oh fuck.
Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Oh.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that they were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking the duty. I hear that right? She's not an Archon at all?
Charge accepted.
Oh, bien joué, Nouvellette.
Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge?
Ha!
Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is
Oh, you
no way
are.
that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make such a huge claim?
Oh, I have my grounds.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld?
Oui.
If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god of justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic spectacle and move on with our lives. What do you say to that?
No.
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? You have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
The people only see you as their Archon, because that's a long belief.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am?
Huh.
And if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
I've got to take. What? Ah! Ah, ça peut être ça, ouais. Non. Ah, ça.
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Such as a curse.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble the type of curse. But in light of this plane, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
Never had sensed it too, huh?
Lady Farina is actually a human?
Huh.
It is true.
saving everyone at the same time. blade embraces its duty.
defense should anything come up at the Institute. I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about. I just don't know when these days will end. I feel utterly exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
Lady Farina, it's like a dream being able to speak with you up close like this. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Dioteria, almost 20 generations ago.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer. A descendant of a line most ardent.
Surely you exaggerate, Lady Farina. My lady?
What is it, good citizen?
Are you crying?
Oh, really now? I didn't even notice. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I?
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to have witnessed it. Honored indeed.
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer? Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more. I never imagined that it would hurt so much. Have I reached my limit? No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't even notice my own tears. I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But would that not destroy all I've done so far? I've conducted so many investigations across the centuries, but there's not even a sliver of hope that we might break the prophecy. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine. Please, mirror me. You have to succeed.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone, your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just Share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness? Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case... She's right. I could confide in her, couldn't I?
But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Farina. You shouldn't be selfish. But what if it's really alright? Farina, you've worked so hard for so long. Surely it would be okay to put yourself first for once. Just this once. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows? Surely it could not hurt. If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never come by again. Think about it. Long and hard.
No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina, the Archon of Fontaine. Everything will surely get better. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Ah, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness, and Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she is placed. right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation of that existence. Defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on, that should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict shall you pass upon us?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that that was your idea too. At last, I now understand the true purpose behind this position. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalors.
then, this way.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. I've already taken all the photos we need. Miss Charlotte, do these pictures really need to be published on the cover of the Steambird?
So
Seeing that
Steambird.
Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier.
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it. Might this interview be very important to you then?
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful to the Steambird for...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more of that genius vibe going on. The boat that brought about a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there, like an emissary of legend. Still, if I might ask, where's that flying ship now?
Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another exclusive scoop.
I
Oh, no, no.
have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to get a shot.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you to make up for that loss?
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of thing before. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new drink I came up with?
Hey.
Siege weed.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some pretty photos of our head nurse? Sure. Come on, Miss Siegewayne. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Oh, sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the fortress?
Hello?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurier? Miss Lorvine?
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that. Just pity.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
Oh.
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change for you too?
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey everyone, the photo shoot's done.
Nice.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then. All right. Last stop.
En mode, oh là là, elle va venir me faire chier encore une fois. Où est-ce qu'on doit aller? Ah. Ok.
blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
Ok, il nous reste très peu, donc je vais m'empresser de finir cette quête. Mais je vais devoir couper mon micro. Donc on va finir la quête et juste faire les vœux avec les primogèmes qu'on aura et tout ça, voilà. Aïe. Je me suis fait mal. Je me suis éclaté mon doigt. Du coup, qu'est-ce qu'il en devient de Felena? Parce que à ce que je comprends, elle est toujours en vie, mais elle est plus quoi que ce soit. Oh, et ça va être trop bien, parce que ça se finit là où ça s'est commencé. C'est des gens à qui on a donné les trucs au début. Waouh. J'arrive bientôt.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these strange pockets the whole time since.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Ah là là. Incroyable. Comme...
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend into doing it for you.
Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by...
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Sure.
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave underwater escape magic to him too.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our show eventually.
Lynette, could you come over?
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you. So, how have things been, Traveler? Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to Fontaine.
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So, what's she doing now?
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
A diplomatic gift?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, there were actually a number of things going for it. It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring narwhal down. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine and Poisson.
Well, that's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking about. Doesn't this seem...
I would agree, but I've also heard that it seems that Monsieur Neuvillette has had a significant change of heart regarding the matter.
So there's some reason for this that only Neuvillette knows about?
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Yes, speaking of which...
Isn't he real busy and stuff? Paimon didn't think he'd have the time for that. But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right? What about Child?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be allied with them this time.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father,
Well, well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Are you going to take the Gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire...
Ah oui, c'est vrai qu'on avait ça.
That's a wrap for me. Huh? You...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable. Farewell.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews.
Parce qu'en plus, elle avait l'idée de le faire en sneaky.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, traveler, Paimon.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too. And what do you know? I'm doing the exact same thing right now. I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead you to your fated friends. All right then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other
Well, guess we sent Charlotte, huh? Shall we go see how Nevlette's doing?
Ah, purée.
Behold!
The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there!
Ah, purée. Aïe, aïe, aïe.
You want to use my hat as an umbrella? The wind rises.
Yeah, why not? Nouvelle.
So, you really are here, Neuvillette. Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when he passed this way. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting, so I may explain some things that I haven't had the time to before.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on your mind, what with you being busy and all. Alright, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved? The whole business is still quite the mystery.
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them out loud.
So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontainians from dissolving.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be.
Incroyable.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Ah, enfin.
I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Focalor had Fontainians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontainians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontainians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray?
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine...
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, seems like this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina has already left. What's that all about?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me, before leaving the Opera House. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired and needed to rest. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the Opera House, not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food.
Si elle le veut, elle peut venir dans ma théière.
In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro Dragon?
After Focalor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts by myself.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say that both were granted to me. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. The duty of the Hydro Sovereign and the duty of the Udex shall coexist within my person. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay. Where are they getting their energy from?
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff is really quite useful, huh?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift.
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis's power. As such, it has lost all. We might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary conflict.
What complicated considerations? Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the knave.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
A nation of dragons? You mean like you?
La nation des dragons. D'accord.
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there.
Oh.
Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity. Natlan is also the
les mobs de Natlan sera juste des divans de n'importe quoi.
There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the knave that I believe may be useful to you. The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
Huh.
Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui harbinger doing their thing.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about the Gnosis. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the Gnosis had clearly changed. We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nervalet?
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of.
It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
Oh?
I do not know what you speak of.
Ah, of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Et oh là là. D'accord. Qui ça pourrait bien être? Donc le troisième descendant est mort. Ah, à l'aide.
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
Huh. According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him.
What?
It's only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans.
Focalor is a
We should
descendant.
probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curse.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
Je comprends plus rien. J'ai mal à la tête. Comment ça? Donc en gros, les putains de trucs qui donnent le pouvoir aux archons, c'est des restes de descendants. Oh purée. Après, donc ça veut dire que Waouh.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it here.
Ouais. Comme ce qui s'est passé avec Nahida. Oh.
I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them. That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element-compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descender. I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as special compatibility.
Waouh, c'est pour ça.
No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It just feels creepy. Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or go look for his master and get the answers that way.
Wow.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
Alright. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
Yes.
Oui.
All of Focalor's efforts were for this moment as well.
Enfin, la fin de cette quête, ça m'a donné mal à la tête.
To herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human.
Et c'est pour ça que cet endroit ressemble à une guillotine. Oh putain.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what ultimately is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
Intéressant. Waouh. Et ceci clôture l'arc de Fontaine. Incroyable. Oh. La fin, j'y étais pas du tout prêt. What? Je me demande c'était qui. On n'avait pas... Genre, ça peut pas être The Heavenly Principles, même si on... ou The Primordial One, puisqu'on disait... Attends, quoi? I don't know. Oh, je sais pas. Il y a plein de questions qui se posent et plein de théories qui se forment. Et beaucoup plus. Mais voilà. Temps de passer au vœu. Si j'ai rien, donc on va directement faire sur les armes. Alors, on avait dit qu'on était à 66 de petit, c'est-à-dire qu'on est à rien d'avoir un 5 étoiles. Tout peut se jouer dans ces deux vœux. Hein. Oh, j'ai failli sursauter. J'étais en mode, oh là là, ça change de couleur. Ok, pas mal. Je pense qu'on était sur la pitié des 4 étoiles dans tous les cas. Ah, limite, si j'ai pas de 5 étoiles, là, ce serait bien d'avoir un 4 étoiles. Genre, toujours plus. Moi, je veux. Non, je pense pas qu'on... Oh putain, sa mère. J'étais sur le point de dire que je pense pas qu'on aura quoi que ce soit. J'ai les yeux fermés. Oh, je vais mourir. Non. Bon, c'est pas grave. C'est une très bonne arme. Ah là là, mais j'ai le seum. Ouf. Mais je sais pas quoi... Ouah, putain, ça m'a fait mal aux yeux. Huh. Bon bah le reste sera pour la prochaine fois. Attends, je veux juste voir, c'était une... Non, c'est pas une lance. C'est... Oh, wow. Qui peut avoir besoin de ce truc, franchement. Oh, MDR, c'est drôle. J'essaie de voir avec qui ça pourrait aller en fait. Peut-être You là. Et en vrai, ça lui va bien. Mais c'est vraiment fait pour naviguer. Oh, j'en ai marre. Bon bah... Non mais limite si je veux faire sur les personnages, je ferais sur... Ah allez. Ça m'énerve. Ça m'énerve, j'ai eu son arme. Oh purée. Bon, bah ce sera tout pour ce live qui a pas mal duré. C'est la fin. On finit avec Sire des Neuvelettes avec Ayaka à côté. Oh, j'ai des achievements, attends. Cet épisode va jamais finir. J'ai même pas lu. Voilà. Ceci est la fin de cet épisode.
A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems. A blade is like a tea leaf. Only those who sample it many times can appreciate its true qualities. A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems. A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.